This week we have special returning guest Perk Sr. He's going to close out this season with advice on getting your child through sports, even through a troubling moment, how to discipline them without taking them out of sports. Let's hear from Perk Sr.
Thank you for the introduction, Miss Troop. And this is Perk Sr. again talking about parenting as a single father and doing things or whatever to better prepare my kids for, their life journey. It was this one time that, like my son, he got in trouble. And I'm a coach and a mentor for a lot of kids. I used to work for a recreational center or whatever that was like awesome. I got to experience a lot of kids or whatever and trying to help them, help pave their way or whatever for their futures. And my son got in trouble at school, and he was extraordinary basketball player. He's small, but he had the heart of a 7 foot tall person. And we were about to play this team or whatever that we beat badly by like 30 points. And this is when he was age 9. So beating a team by 30 points or whatever is a lot at that age. So the game was in 2 days, and he got in trouble. So the game was on a Friday, and he got in trouble on like a Wednesday. So I got a call from the school saying, hey, your son got in trouble. And most parents or whatever have this thing where they take their kids out of stuff. And I always felt like that is the wrong answer. And what I did for my son in that particular situation is, in practice, I made him work 10 times harder than he did or whatever previously. 10 times harder than the next person. Run more suicides. Dribble the ball faster. More shots or whatever. Made him physically exhausted. So when it became game time, he suited up, but since I was his coach, I didn't let him play. And what I told him was that, hey, today you're not playing, and you know the reason why you're not playing. I was like, you put in all of that hard work or whatever for a goal, and that goal was to play in this game and do extraordinary things for your team. But today you're not playing. But what you are going to do today is you're going to be the water boy. You're going to ensure that everybody has water, and you're going to encourage them to do great things or whatever for the team. Cheer them on. I need you to be my assistant coach. And if you don't want to play that role, then what's going to happen is you're going to do it the next game, and the next game, and the next game, until you come to terms with that, hey, I messed up, but I'm still going to cheer my team on. And so we end up losing that game. We lost the game by 4 points. So he was like a big reason why we won, and he's like a big reason why we lost. But what it taught him was that, hey, there's consequences to everything that you do. It's like you can work your hardest, your very hardest or whatever, and put yourself in a great position, but it's like you can't play in the game. It's like you did all this practicing, but you can't play in the game. So it's like, don't make the mistake of not being the best version of yourself. It's like you knew what right was or whatever, and you chose to do something totally different. And there's consequences for those actions. My thing is to any other parent is never take your kids out of sports or whatever, because it gives them an avenue to release a lot of tension or whatever, because kids go through a lot, like with having to study or whatever, and having to try to keep themselves out of trouble. So make them play a sport. Like one rule that I always said in my household is, it was soccer. My kid was like, I don't play soccer, Dad. I don't want to play soccer. I was like, well, that's fine and dandy, but you're going to go to practice for 2 weeks. And I feel as though I've raised you to make decisions, that best fit your needs. So you're going to try it, at least try it for 2 weeks. And if you don't want to do it, then that's perfectly fine. But you're going to at least attempt to try it. And what do you know? They love soccer. They love the crap out of soccer. They're great runners or whatever. They're not bad soccer players, but they love soccer. But it's like I introduced that to them just because I wanted them to at least try it. You know what I'm saying? Just to see what you like. Because in life, you don't know you're gonna like something unless you at least try it once. You know what I'm saying? But don't take your kids out of sports or whatever. Make them work harder or whatever, and just don't let them play in the game. To let them know that, hey, there's consequences to every action that you do.
Well, that's a lot to take in, isn't it? We could all use some advice from everyone, and this is part of the reason why I do this series. So this is the end of season 1. Season 2 will pick back up in August, and I hope you all plan to join me as we encounter a whole new group of people and listen to their perspectives on life and listen to their advice on how we can make our situations better just from learning from each other. Thank you. Until then.